Rundown on the heads of state's arrival at the airport.
Nekurima center ndaona go redu richitiitira zvakanaka sezvamuri kuona izvi haina mishonga imwe mbasa yekukiyakiya vanotipa product inoshanda semwaonera muri kuitawo matomatosi edu kuti hatina doubt hamuna tuta hamuna zvirwere zvakawanda. Tiri kushanda nekurima center zvakanaka, ticharamba tichisapota iyo ichitisapota. Kune varimi vese vanoda kuenda mberi ngavashande nekurima center. Number one.
That is the Parliament building in Mount Hampden. So far, 4 presidents have arrived in the country, or 4 leaders have arrived. We had the Prime Minister of Lesotho, we had the President of Tanzania, we also had the President of Malawi, and the current leader of Namibia. Right now, as we speak, we are witnessing the arrival of the Angolan president, who happens to be the outgoing chairperson of SADC. Remember, the 43rd SADC summit was held in Angola, and that's President Joao Lourenço, who will be disembarking from his plane that has just arrived, carrying, of course, the national flag of Angola. Angola being the second largest country south of the Sahara. They did attain their independence in 1975 from Portugal. They are a country that is rich in oil, and oil forms the backbone of the economy. Of course, you also know that Angola is quite prominent when it comes to the production of minerals, particularly diamonds. The 43rd SADC summit, which was held in Angola, was quite significant in also shaping the agenda that Zimbabwe will carry on. And they were carrying the theme, human and finance capital, the key drivers for sustainable industrialization of the SADC region. This becomes the starting point as Zimbabwe gets to take the chairpersonship of SADC under the theme, innovation to unlock opportunities for sustained economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC. So we do, there is a lot of pomp and fanfare, of course, as we welcome the president of Angola, that is President Joao Lourenço, in Zimbabwe for the 44th SADC summit. Of course, the dignitaries that are receiving, I did see various ministers who are going to be receiving the president as he makes his way to inspect, of course, through the guard of honor, and they are traditional dancers who have also come as part of the welcoming delegation. It's a pomp and fanfare, really, as we await for the president to disembark from the plane. I think I see that he has disembarked from his plane. A lot of media there as well, looking into trying to get that very extra special shot as he is welcomed by part of the Zimbabwe delegation that, of course, is welcoming him into the country. It's going to be also interesting to see as he hands over the baton to President Emmerson Mnangagwa, some of the talking points that are going to be that would define the chairpersonship of Angola, as they were the chairpersons of SADC during the 43rd summit that was held in Luanda. So remember, we have received 4 presidents, which makes President Lourenço the 5th head of state to have arrived ahead of the SADC summit that takes place tomorrow. We did receive the Prime Minister of Lesotho, Sam Matekane, from Malawi, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, from Tanzania, Dr. Samia Hassan, from Namibia, Dr. Nongolo Mbumba, and now the Angolan President, Joao Lourenço. As more heads of state are expected to come through. He is inspecting the guard of honor. I'm sure, as you can see on your screens, the president being received and walking the Zimbabwean red carpet, the outgoing SADC chair, that is President Joao Lourenço. Exciting times indeed for Zimbabwe as we host the SADC 44th summit here in Harare. There's been a great deal of preparation that has been put in place to ensure that this becomes a very successful SADC summit. So the Angolan delegation making its way, President Lourenço flanked, of course, by the SADC Zimbabwean delegation. I see Minister Monica Mtrangwa there. Or being part of the delegation that is welcoming the president of Angola. Or just something of note as well, President Lourenço being the third president of Angola and having assumed the chairpersonship on the 17th of August in 2023. I know my voice is getting drowned here as more and more welcoming dances take center stage here at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport, the VVIP terminal, which is where we are situated at the moment. So this has pretty much been what happens when the head of state, or when the head of state does arrive ahead of the SADC summit. They are welcomed as they disembark from their plane, and then they do walk through the guard of honor that has been mounted there, as you can see. And then there is the welcoming party that then receives them. From the welcoming party, they are then quickly go inside the arrival section of the VVIP section of the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport, a short briefing, and then they are already making their way to where they will be staying. So President Lourenço becomes the fifth head of state that we have received so far ever since heads of state started arriving. That is yesterday. So the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport still remains a hive of activity. We're still expecting more heads of state to continue coming throughout the rest of the day up until night, as we'll continuously be updating you as to what will be taking place here at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport. Just a quick reminder that we've received Prime Minister of Lesotho, the President of Malawi, the President of Tanzania, the President of Namibia, and now the President of Angola. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Nate Butler, giving us the rundown on the arrival of the Angolan president at the airport. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we had for this current broadcast. Looking forward to the next team that will be with you after the afternoon news. We'll be joined by Bangani and Ian Vambe. And of course, with Frayam Gazi, it's been a top time.
Kumnandi kakhulu kodwa lingayikhatshana sizabe silinika okwenzakalayo okuqhutshwayo kumihlangano etshiyeneyo.